So, there are just two genders, male and female. There are such a thing as hermaphrodites, people that are born with both organs, but they are extremely rare, and today's medical science can deal with that. The person can choose what sex they would like to be, or their parent or guardian can choose what sex they would like to be, and with surgery and treatments that can be corrected, as far as I know from what I've read about it. So that's just it. There's two genders. People started in on this whole I identify as. Nobody cares, okay? For the most part, most of the population of America doesn't care how you identify. But it was enough that it gained national attention, but because of course the media pushed it to the forefront because they've got an agenda to push. They're selling news. Fake news, it doesn't matter. Insignificant news, it doesn't matter. Unpopular news, it doesn't matter. If it bleeds, it leads. So if it's a negative story, or it's something that they can use to divide us, something they can use to push their agenda, something they can use to create controversy where there isn't controversy. Sound like racism? Yeah, that's what they're going to do. So it got attention. Our politicians jumped all over it. Of course they are. They're out there mugging in front of the camera for votes. And if they look like they're concerned about the plight of an insignificant amount of the population over the majority of the population, if they look like they're just so, accepting and tolerant and stuff, that's what gets them votes. That's what gets one side of our country to go, oh, look at them. They're such a good person. They're such humanitarian. They care. It's kind of like the whole what about the children thing, right? So this was really a non-issue, but a few people made it an issue. They took advantage of their position. They took advantage of their ability to communicate with most of the country, and they made it an issue. Once again, nobody cares. You can identify as whatever you want. You can identify as that's your freedom in this country. But you're born either a male or a female. It's as simple as that. There are sex change operations that can be done. If you're a male and you get a sex change to become a female, it's all fake. Okay? If you're a female and you get a sex change to be a male, it's all fake or mostly fake. Sure, hormones might give you facial hair where you didn't have it before, and you can have plastic surgery, I guess is the word I'm looking for, to put fake body parts in, okay? And whatever floats your boat. Once again, in this country you have the freedom to do that, but you're still a man and you're still a woman, despite the fact that you've had hormones and everything else artificially given to you. And it's as simple as that. If you don't agree with me, I don't care. Just like most of the country doesn't care. There are people that are confused about their identity. They're confused, I believe, due to really poor parenting. Really poor parenting. There are people that are confused about their identity because they're just confused about them. Okay? We've all gone through periods in our life, especially as a young person, where we were trying to find our way. And once again, this is just something that's kind of, there in your head, and you have to find your way. And if you're a male and you hate yourself because you wish you were born female, that's not my problem. That's not anybody's problem but yours. If you want to take the steps to have, if you want to cross-dress or you want to have an operation or whatever, that's up to you. It's a goal you can work for. Because once again, in this country, you have the freedom to do such a thing. But at the end of the day, you're still a male. You might feel like a female. You might identify as a female. You might wish you were a female, but you are a male. Now, I can't help that people have self-loathing. They look at themselves in the mirror and they hate themselves because of their gender. They hate themselves because of their skin color. I don't care. That's your choice to hate yourself. Because I don't hate myself, I'm a bad person? Please. And you might say, well, it's easy for you to say you're a white male and blah, you're not short, you're not fat, you don't have a disability, you know what? We were all born the way we were, and we all have things happen to us in life. Some people are more fortunate than others, and I mean, that's life. You can accept it, or I guess you could say, I'm just living a lie. I've heard that bullshit too. I'm just living a lie. Lots of people live a lie. We call them politicians, okay? It's up to you to get yourself straight, but don't put it on the rest of society. Don't blame the rest of society. Don't burden the rest of society, and don't confuse the rest of society. If you look like a man, I'm going to call you a man. If you're a woman dressed like a man and I can't tell, I'm going to call you a man. If you're a man dressed like a woman and I can't tell, I'm going to call you a woman. If you're a man that looks like a man, I'm going to address you as a man. And if you're offended, it's on you. It's not my problem. It's not society's problem. We're not going to make 57 different restrooms in a public building because you identify as a XYZ. That is not on us. Science says there's male and there's female. That's been accepted for a long time, and it's as simple as that. You can learn to deal with it, or you can't. But it's not on me. It's not on the rest of society. You have to take some individual responsibility. And if you're a male who says you identify as a female and you demand that you use a woman's restroom, you're a freaking pervert, okay? I've never cared if the guy standing next to me at the urinal was gay or not, all right? I just care that it's a guy. Because I'm not going to deal with, you're opening up a can of worms when you've got multiple sexes going to a restroom, because people are so sensitive and they're so offended about everything. And tell me, what was wrong with the system that we've had in place forever? Nothing. It worked out fine. Sure, there were women that brought their sons into the restroom with them when they were little. The kids didn't know any different. All right? Men that brought their young daughters in the kids didn't know any different. At a certain point, you'll know, because you're the parent, your child needs to start going to the opposite restroom, and you need to be able to trust that they're going to be okay in there. And you're not going to be okay with that, especially if you have daughters, more so than sons. And sure, call me a misogynist for that remark. I don't care. Ask any father of daughters this. How would you feel if your daughters were going into a restroom with grown men? You wouldn't like it, would you? So this whole transgender thing, this whole I identify thing, this whole changing forms when you go to fill out a job application, or even going so far as to revamp the 4473, a piece of federal paperwork to say I'm a non-binary whatever the hell. You know what? Most of America can't figure out LGBTQRST, okay? Now you're going to throw this I identify as one of 57 genders. People don't understand that, and once again, we don't care. So you can exercise your rights without trampling on everybody else's rights. You can be who you are without stepping on everybody else's freedom. You can make choices in your life without burdening the rest of society. But there are two genders, male and female. If you don't like it, I don't care. America doesn't care. Have a nice day.